next speaker this morning is Dan Martin. He is going to be presenting project number 4 this morning, and he will be speaking for 5 to 7 minutes. The goal of project number 4 is to use words and arrangements of words that effectively communicate his message to the audience. He is to select clear, accurate, descriptive, and short words and choose verbs that convey action. Sentence and paragraph structure should be simple and short. Additionally, the use of correct grammar, rhetorical devices, and the lack of jargon will enhance his communication. The speech must have a clear purpose and must be appropriately organized. Fellow Toastmasters, please help me in welcoming Dan Martin speaking on astonishing service.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Astonishing client service. What is it that sets us apart from everybody else? In our fields that we all work in, everybody pretty much offers the same products and services. But what can we do to really set us apart from the competition? My company, One West Bank, when they, as a new company, when they first established themselves, rather than even choosing a product or service that they were going to sell, they rolled out a program simply titled Astonishing Client Service, which wasn't about selling a product or service because we didn't even know what that was yet. They just wanted to make sure that we were establishing relationships, not selling a product or a service. So what I'm going to go over with you today is 6 steps that my office uses in accomplishing astonishing client service. In my experience in sales, it seems like there was always 3 steps back years ago when I was a teenager. And those 3 steps were opening, probing, and closing. Pretty simple. The emphasis being on closing because they want you to move on to the next sale as quickly as possible. Selling is easy, right? Well, today we are people that want to establish relationships opposed to sell a product or service. The company that I worked with before, they had, I think, 15 steps to the sales process, which I thought was incredible, was insane. How could you remember? I could hardly remember the 3, let alone 15. So I kind of created my own 6 steps that I use personally. The first step is the concierge welcome. When somebody walks into my office, I want to make them feel like they're a guest in my home. I welcome them with a smile. I greet them within 10 seconds of walking in the door. I ask them if they would like a beverage. I let them know that I'll be right with them if I have a client with me. And I really want to make them feel comfortable when they first walk in. The second step is understanding the client's needs. Everybody is unique, so you want to ask them questions that is going to be unique to that individual. You want to take personal responsibility for that client while they're in your office and make sure that the products and services they do end up with are the ones that really want to fit their unique needs. The third step is recommendations. This is where you want to create a value proposition and really show your expertise on what it is that you know. And of course, you do this by actively listening to the client's needs and selling them only the product or service that they need. The fourth step is fulfillment. This is where you get to execute the products and services that you've chosen for that client based on their unique needs. You want to be efficient and demonstrate those products and services. I know for us, something that's been a challenge is getting clients, especially the seniors, to use online banking. We're one of the few banks that I've ever heard of that will sit down with a client and actually sign them in, register them for online banking, show them how to navigate through it, and show them all the different security measures that the bank uses to protect them. The fifth step is the memorable recap. This is where you truly want to cement the relationship, set yourself apart from the competition, again go over the products and services that they offer, and even set up an expectation as to what you want to do in the future for follow-up. I have a program that I personally use called 222. Basically, it means that we'll do a 2-day follow-up call, we'll do a 2-week follow-up call, and we'll do a 2-month follow-up call. And that enables us to make sure that the client maybe have received their debit cards or their checks in the mail, to make sure they don't have any questions about online banking, and to see if there's anything else that we could possibly do for them. And the 6th step, but not the final, is the warm exit. This is where you want to make sure that the client wants to come back to your office and establish additional products and services, or even refer their friends and family. One of the most important parts of this step, to me personally, is to make sure that you introduce your client to other people in your office. So that way, if they do come back, they have a familiar face that they can go to if you're unavailable or not in the office that day. Now, there's certainly, this isn't the final step, because it's an ongoing process when you're building a relationship. You're not just making a sale and closing it and moving on. You're actually establishing a relationship to make sure that that client wants to come back and that that relationship grows and prospers. For example, I would say that anybody in this room could be a great salesperson, but if you don't really truly build that relationship, for example, Scott, I'm sure that you don't sell a product or service and move on to the next client. I mean, that's probably your client and Cliff's client, and even Susie's clients. They're, I would say, probably repeat clients. They come back because, not because you're a great salesperson, but because they like you and your approach and how you treat them and the fact that you follow up with them and that you're always available for them if they need you. So before I close today, I want to give you astonishing client service of my own. And I'm going to pass out my business card. Not because I want to sell anybody a product or service, but to me what's astonishing about this business card is that you are able to use me as a resource. Has anybody ever watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Mm-hmm. Well, I could be a lifeline for you. I mean, may not be able to tell you your account balance at midnight when you call from the nightclub, but if you ever need a resource in the banking community, you can contact me. Now, back to the astonishing point about this business card. There's 3 phone numbers on there. The first phone number is the direct line to my office. If you call that number, you won't get an automated work queue in some other state. You will receive my branch. The second phone number on there is my personal BlackBerry. So if you need me and I'm not in the office, I pretty much have that BlackBerry with me 24/7. So I'm always available to you as my client. And the third phone number is my write fax. So if you fax me an important document, it's not floating around my office somewhere because it goes directly to my email. So please use that business card as a resource. So in conclusion, astonishing service isn't defined by us, it's defined by our client. So if we continue to have laser-like focus on our clients' needs and expectations, then we will be able to give astonishing client service. Thank you.
Bravo.